It goes thousands of years back.
So it's traditional medicine.
Yes. Some people feel like it's new, that this concept is, that these things that we're bringing are new, but they're not. They're very old.
Mm-hmm.
And because they're old, I believed in them right away that there's something that we should be using.
Yes.
Then the elements are ether, air, fire, water, earth. Ether, air, fire, water, earth. Our hands are set up that way.
Okay. Now, can you talk a little about each of those 5 elements and how one can create balance?
Yes, ether's blue, and it means that we need space. That's a space. Air is the index finger.
Now, so if somebody had a problem with their thumb, would you think they'd have too much or too little energy?
Well, they may. It could be either one. We either can be expanded or we can be contracted.
Okay, was this the ether one?
That's ether.
So it'd be too much or too little ether energy?
It could be.
Yeah.
It's hard, you know, there's
I
so
see,
many.
because of the interrelationship with the other
Yes.
elements. Okay.
And ether includes them all. So you have ether, then air, fire, water, earth. They all work together.
And so ether, that's the ear, or is that something separate?
Ether's just all space, universe, how you set up your room. It's you want to, how you set up like for a party if you're going to have people come over. Mm-hmm. And you put out napkins or you put out your best plates, that's ether. You want it to look nice.
Okay. And babies suck their thumb. Do you think there's any connection to the ether energy?
Very possibly, because that's also balancing their homeostasis in their body. Mm-hmm. That is, when we do that sucking motion, there is a relationship to the body.
Okay. So let's talk about the elements in the other fingers.
So air is the index finger.
Mm-hmm.
That's, all elements have a color, so that would be yellow. Now I'm like drawing, it's green.
Okay, and I'm thinking of somebody pointing her finger, going blah, 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 blah. It's like, give me some space.
Yeah, or you might, and an air person might be really talkative. They talk really fast.
Yeah.
There's a lot of characteristics to an air person, and the air element.
Okay.
The fire elements are middle finger.
Oh, well, we can't show that one.
So there's a reason why, we might use that.
Lines.
Exactly. And that person might be very fiery, might have a quick to anger. They might walk very fast. Water is the ring finger. That's orange. So a water person might be, there's no boundaries. You might notice them leaning on people, or they like to be they'll talk.
Well, it's also the finger we put the wedding ring on.
Correct.
So, yeah.
There's a reason for that.
Yeah. You want to state that reason?
Well, the reason for the ring on the ring finger, or on the water finger, is
the flow.
For flow and for pregnancy.
Okay. And flexibility?
Yep. And then earth is the little finger. So earth is more, an earth person might walk slower. They have a little stockier build. Mm-hmm. So with polarity therapy, we look at all of those elements.
Now, can you look at my hand or look at my body and say I'm more one element than another?
Yes, but I would actually ask you questions and have you fill out a sheet first.
Okay.
Having you come in, I don't really know you.
Okay.
So I would watch you walk. I would talk to you. We always ask questions when somebody comes in for a session, and they fill out a checklist that has different things that might be going on for the day.
Okay. And do you send people home with specific exercises in which they can balance their energy?
Yes. So if somebody comes in for a session, we do the bodywork session, bodywork first, and then if they need, like most people these days, because there's so much stress in their lives, they need breathing. They need to breathe deeper. Mm-hmm. We do breathing exercises in the office, and I send them home with that to do.
How many minutes do you do your breathing exercises?
I have them do it at least 2 or 3 minutes at a time, and as many times a day as they think about doing that.
Well, I'm a practitioner of yoga, so I practice pranayama, which is breath control. Mm-hmm. And I got to say, when I'm consistent with my breathing exercises, my sinuses stay clear. I don't get colds, because it helps to expel the toxins, the pollutants, the irritants in my nasal sinuses.
And how do you feel after you do that?
Oh, I feel great. I feel very relaxed.
Exactly. That's the word that we're looking for when somebody comes in for a session or we're doing breathing with them. We give the person a space to be quiet and calm. We do a lot of deep breathing, holding things, holding joints, you might pull the fingers so that the body can calm down.
And you're holding I assume you are the one holding the joints?
Yes.
And is there any particular reason why you'd hold one joint over another?
Yeah, because the body's set up in positive, neutral, and negative charges. I mean,
Okay.
every cell has a positive, neutral, and negative charge.
So that's where the idea of polarity comes.
Correct.
The two poles, positive and negative.
Yeah, and our right hand's positive, our left hand's negative.
And is it reversed for lefties?
See, we've had that question, and I couldn't tell you if it's true or not. We still teach it. Right hand, left hand is negative because you receive with your left hand and you give with your right. There's a whole setup with how our body. It's complex.
You know, I interviewed Dr. Darren Weissman, who's on the board of Infinity, and he had a doll, and we made a circuit with our hands, and electricity passed through our hands through the doll, and the doll spoke. And then when you released it, the doll stopped speaking.
Yes.
So most people don't think of us as having bioelectromagnetic energy.
Correct. I just taught a class this weekend, and there's a little ball. It's called a UFO ball. It's got a little battery in it. You push two metal prongs on it, and you can do the same thing where you have that connection with people. Most people have no idea.
You can put it around 40, 50 different
Yes.
people, and the energy will go around. And what kind of class were you teaching over the weekend?
I was teaching the introduction to polarity therapy.
Now, is that the class you're going to be teaching at Infinity Foundation?
Yes. It's just a one-day class at Infinity Foundation.
And how long is the class?
It's from 9 to 5.
That's a long class.
Yes.
And if somebody wanted to sign up for the class, what can they expect to learn?
We'll talk about the elements. We'll talk more about what polarity therapy is and talk about some of the bodywork techniques, because there's a lot of them. Mm-hmm. The polarity exercise, we do a lot of them, some of them that are grounding, and share an exercise, at least one or two in each element.
Now, do you think that people need more grounding than energy moving up?
Yes, because we're exposed to so much energy.
Okay.
So,
well, we live so much in our head, so our
yes.
energy's up in the head.
But and we're also exposed to computers and iPods and you name it. We're exposed to some energy, and we're not that calm.
Now, my understanding is that the energy field around computers and cell phones and other electrical devices has a different frequency than the human body.
Yes.
And so when we start to do these polarity therapy exercises, do we start to get back more into our natural frequency, natural rhythm?
Yes, because you can lose that. Our electromagnetic field isn't as strong then when we're exposed to those energies. Mm-hmm. So by being grounded, feet on the floor, breathing, stretching, but it's really the connection to the earth and the connection to the universe.
Now, this sounds like great techniques or great exercises for students in school to help their learning.
Yes.
Now, before the show, I found out that you actually are an instructor in a school district. Can you say a few words about that?
Yeah, I coach. I've done some substitute teaching, but I actually coach high school boys and girls golf.
Okay.
And with the golf, my girls golf team was very successful this year. And I did a lot of positive communication with them, and we talked about staying positive, keeping that energy focused. They kind of looked at me sometimes like, okay, coach, whatever you say. But just being calm, not worrying about anything. If they didn't hit a good shot, it's okay.
Yeah, when people are stressed or anxious, it reduces their performance, whether it be taking a test or playing a sport such as golf.
Yes. And when I've done some working with people, I teach a golf class at UW Parkside, and it's the same thing.